Welcome to GNT, your one-stop shop for gaming news and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon.
Today we're going to start off with some more Nintendo news. They are launching Mini NES November 11th. It'll have 30 classic games such as Castlevania, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Bros., and The Legend of Zelda for $60. I might get this because I haven't played the original Legend of Zelda, and it said it'll have the first two, so it'd be kind of cool to get to play through those.
Yeah, for $60 for the console and 30 games, it's kind of a nice throwback. And with new games coming out costing $60 and you get 30, and they're some of the originals that spawned multiple sequels and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of replay there, a lot of nostalgic, and people are more comfortable playing old games like that than diving into something new, and
right.
It's a little more complicated than the originals. So
yeah, and there's a lot of classics. I haven't played Castlevania, which is a pretty big game.
Yeah, the first few Castlevanias are really good. I know Symphony of the Night is one of the best Castlevanias that ever came out, and it was for the original PlayStation. And I can remember a friend of mine got that. And I can't remember which game I bought at the same time, but I was wishing I would have bought that game because it was such a good game. And I didn't play it. I played it, but I didn't get it, and it's one of those games I wish I would have played.
There you go. I don't know if that one's in this one for sure, but you can see the list online, and it tells you all the games that come with it. It said it comes with one controller, but you can have two. And it looked like you might be able to put the cartridges in. I don't know for sure. What I saw didn't confirm that, but yeah, we'll probably hear more about it coming up. And then we have Sea of Thieves, which was a pretty cool game that we talked about from E3, confirmed for February of 2017. There usually aren't a ton of big games coming out that time, so I'll probably get it. It looks kind of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Assassin's Creed Black Flag for the pirate aspect, so it looked pretty neat with the different ships and sea battles, and that's always fun. And being a multiplayer game, having your friends be along with you is another interesting factor.
Yeah, I like the cartoony looks to it, but hopefully it has some depth to it as far as the ships go.
Yeah, I won't, it's probably, hopefully it's not one of those games you can judge solely on the graphics.
Yeah.
It's, Borderlands had the cel-shaded graphics, but it was very in-depth, and I hope that this is the same.
Yeah.
Division just released the rewards for the season pass holders this week. There's a lot of videos up on YouTube. A lot of people are disappointed. Still getting the same stuff that they don't want. It's really getting tiring for a lot of the seasoned players that have tried to stick through it. It's a disappointment. They make it so challenging to get the endgame gear that you absolutely need to do the endgame activities, and the rewards for the endgame activities don't even balance to the activity that you're doing. You get the same, to do a 240 mission, you need the 240 gear, and you get 240 at the end of it. So you're already there. You should be getting the 268 gear, and the enemies are just so unrealistically hard to kill just because the amount of bullets that it takes to kill them. A lot of people are saying that it should go to a more Diablo style where you feel powerful and you can kind of mow through the enemies, and then you still get decent gear, but at the same time, it's they just have balance issues in that game.
Yeah.
Which made me pick up Grand Theft Auto, a game that's been out for 3 years now, and they just added some new DLC called the Cunning Stunts, and me and a friend played that for hours the other night just because it was fun. It was free content. They're still supporting the game, and they came out with this free content, and it's a lot of fun. Not your typical Grand Theft Auto play style. It's a little crazy with the different tracks and stuff and loop-de-loops and all sorts of crazy stuff, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And if you guys still have Grand Theft Auto, I recommend picking it up and playing that DLC because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Kind of going back to the Division thing, with World of Warcraft when we were playing it, it seemed like with that end game stuff, like there was some difficulty to it, but like it wasn't. I remember like it took a little bit to get the gear, but then once you got the gear, like if I got to a new raid or whatever, and I got through, like you got good stuff.
Well, it was attainable.
Yeah.
And there wasn't the randomness to it. There was randomness to the boss drops, which was sometimes a good thing, sometimes bad things, and then you could roll, which is a possibility that they could do is giving out gear that they know people want, but having the 4 players roll, and whoever gets the highest roll would get that gear. But another thing that WoW did that people are asking for in the Division is to have a token system where completing those challenge. Well, and what I don't get is we already have the Phoenix credits in the Division, but you don't really. There's nothing really worth buying with those Phoenix credits. A lot of the times I'll find that I have 2,000 Phoenix credits, which is the cap, and I just wasted on some junk because there's nothing. I get so anxious for the Friday reset, and there's nothing there. Whereas, like in World of Warcraft, you got those tokens that weren't easy to come by, but you earned them, and then you could get the gear that you needed that made you that much more powerful.
Yeah.
And I know we're kind of comparing apples to oranges, but it's not like you couldn't adopt that system into a game like this.
Right.
It's just a shame because the Division had such a strong opening, and through no fault but their own, they've alienated, I would say, a majority of their player base. I mean, they've really, drove themselves into the ground with just being monotonous and not fun. It's just more of a repetition, and they, with the 1.3 patch, they released a shotgun called the Showstopper, and they already complained about people not using the different kinds of guns. Everybody's pretty much using SMGs and marksman's rifles. So they bring out this shotgun that seems pretty neat and a lot of people wanted to play with, but it's almost damn near impossible to obtain. You got to run either, a mission on the heroic setting, and I myself have ran it on Lexington Event Center probably 100 times. I haven't seen one drop, and I haven't seen anybody in my party get one.
Wow.
So it's very frustrating. You complain about us not using these kinds of guns, but whenever we try to get the new gun out, it's unattainable. So I don't understand their thought process there. They should be actually just throwing these at players just to have them try. They released 2 named ones in the patch previous to this, and you can purchase both of them. So why make... And the one was a marksman rifle. The one item that they complained about people using too much of. So what do?
They just put it right out there.
Yeah, and make it very easy to obtain. And then when people don't use shotguns, they have a shotgun that people want to use, and they make it almost impossible to get. I don't. They say that they play this and stuff, and I know that there's a community member that from the Division that plays it. That's that works for them, but I just don't get it. I don't think that they fully grasp the state of the game is in.
Right.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
So.
Then moving on to maybe some Star Wars Battlefront stuff. Well, the Death Star DLC comes out in September, which I thought looked kind of cool. I might check it out. Hopefully we'll get some space battles in there.
It did look like there were space battles. I watched a little trailer for it. Unfortunately, I've already traded my Star Wars Battlefront off to get... I don't know if it was to get the Division or not. I can't remember, but yeah, it's gone, so...
Yeah. I'm hoping because I'm pretty sure I have the season pass. I've never used it. I played when it first came out for a few hours, and I haven't downloaded any DLC or anything, so maybe this one will be good, and I'll check it out when it comes out in September. Then we have the Rogue One DLC coming out for the holiday season, which I don't know what it will include, but might check that out too. And then more Star Wars stuff. We have Trials on Tatooine coming out in the HTC Vive, the 18th. Well, probably today, depending if this video goes up tomorrow. Coming out today, which I thought looked cool. Basically, I think you're one of Luke's new apprentices on Tatooine, and it looked like you mess around with the Millennium Falcon and Han Solo. I don't think it's very long. I think it's just kind of a taste of what they're working on. I don't know if they want to use the word demo, but it kind of seems like a demo. But it's free, so I'll probably check it out. Especially any Star Wars VR stuff should be cool.